How can we motivate from within the person? Let's learn how we can apply 3 different theories of motivation. First, we'll learn about employees' needs and McClelland's acquired needs theory. Then we'll focus on self-perception and expectancy theory before finishing with social perception and equity theory. The key point of these 3 theories is it's important for managers to consider each individual's perceptions. McClelland's acquired needs theory says we act to fulfill 3 needs: the need for achievement, the need for affiliation, and the need for power. People who have a high need for achievement are motivated to reach their goals, solve problems, and master complex tasks. People who have a high need for affiliation are motivated to develop relationships with others, help others, and share accomplishments with others. People who have a high need for power are motivated to influence other people and take control of the situation. The theory suggests that people with different need profiles may prefer different work situations to fulfill their needs. For instance, people who have a high need for achievement tend to be leaders and managers, while people who have a high need for affiliation may be better off in support staff roles. People who have a high need for power sometimes lack the flexibility and people skills to be effective leaders. Using this theory, managers should identify their employees' needs and help them find roles and situations in which they are most likely to fulfill those needs. Expectancy theory can help managers diagnose perceptions that impair motivation and performance. This theory proposes that our motivation is a function of 3 basic self-perceptions called expectancy, instrumentality, and valence. Expectancy theory predicts we are highly motivated when we believe that we can perform well and that our performance will lead to outcomes that we highly value. In other words, people are motivated when they see a relationship between their effort, their job performance, and valued outcomes. We have high expectancy when we understand performance expectations and believe that our efforts will meet these expectations. If we think there's a low probability of success, then our motivation declines. To address this challenge, managers should clarify expectations and discuss goals with their employees. Managers want to make sure that their employees are confident in their abilities. We have high instrumentality when we believe that meeting these expectations will result in specific outcomes. Managers want to clearly link rewards with desired performance. When we value the outcomes associated with certain behaviors, we have high valence and high motivation. Remember, different people value the same outcome differently. If you know what an employee values, then you can use those rewards and outcomes to motivate their behavior. Equity theory says our perceptions of fairness can influence our motivation. According to this theory, we make judgments about what we put into our jobs, called inputs, and what we get out of them, called outputs. Inputs include time, effort, education, and experience. Outputs include money, promotions, and recognition. We then use those judgments to compare our inputs and outcomes with those of other people. It is these comparisons that lead us to behave in certain ways. Assuming your inputs and outcomes are on the left in this image, here we have positive inequity. This means you get more than the other person. Imagine you get $100 for 2 hours of work at a rate of $50 an hour. Your coworker, on the other hand, makes $100 for 5 hours of work at a rate of $20 an hour. Clearly, you provide fewer inputs for the same outcome, illustrating positive inequity. For instance, assume you make $500 for 10 hours of work at a rate of $50 an hour. A coworker makes $500 for only 4 hours of work at a rate of $125 an hour. This situation illustrates negative inequity because you are paid less than the other person for the same amount of work. If an employee perceives equity, he is usually motivated to maintain it. If an employee perceives negative inequity, however, he is usually motivated to take action to restore it. There are several options available for restoring equity. He may increase his outcomes by asking for a pay raise or using company resources for personal use. He may decrease his inputs by leaving earlier or taking longer breaks. He may change his perception about how hard he really worked, thereby decreasing the value of his own inputs. He may change his perception about how hard his coworker worked, increasing the value of her inputs. He can also change to whom he compares himself. Let's combine these three theories and the research evidence to identify some of the things managers can do to motivate their employees from within themselves. The first strategy is to treat people based on their needs and perceptions, not necessarily like everyone else. Managers should also be clear about what is expected of employees and what exactly they need to do to meet those expectations. Managers can ask employees directly about their motivation, needs, and perceptions, and then monitor their perceptions for changes in motivation. Managers can also enhance employees' confidence in their ability to meet performance expectations and clearly link rewards and outcomes with desired performance. The final strategy is a simple one. Celebrate your employees. Celebrate their important milestones and high performance whenever possible. Now that you know, by addressing employees' needs and perceptions, you can motivate them, we'll learn more about how managers can motivate people from within their roles.